Hello, it is Jessica, the other half of Jessica and Cody, here with another video. This is my January wrap-up, February, Feb, February, the second month of the year wrap-up. No, it's not, oh my god. The second month of the year TBR. I can't say the more I think about it, the more it stresses me out, so FEB, we're good. So, I've been really slacking on these. I'm really sorry. Life has just been crazy busy. I had a lot of family stuff happening in December, and I just needed to take a break from life. I lost somebody that I really deeply care about around Christmas, and that kind of, I just needed to take some time away. So, for January, I honestly didn't really read that much. The books that I did read were books that I have read as a child, and I kind of needed something to cheer me up. So I'm going to briefly talk about the books I read in January. It was only three or four. And yeah, so without further ado, let's get into the wrap up. So the very first book I read in January, wow, I can't say any month apparently. Okay, January, there we go, was Anne of Green Gables by L. M. Montgomery. I think that's right. If you don't know who Anne of Green Gables is, for starters, what are you doing with your life? Go read the books right now. They're amazing. And if you do, yay, I am going to be your friend because Anne of Green Gables is my jam right now. I read the first book because it has been a very long time since I actually read it. And I was watching the 1984, it was in the 80s. I was watching the 1980s miniseries and I said, you know what? I really want to read this story. So I did. And it was fantastic as always. Although, I gotta admit, I kind of didn't like Anne all that much as a kid. Don't get me wrong, she gets so much better. I don't know. There's something about book Anne that I didn't really like. And maybe it's because I haven't read it in so long, but I don't know. It's just, she's different than the miniseries and the Anne with an E Anne in ways, and it just kind of bugged me just a little bit. But that's fine. So that was the first book I read in January, and I really enjoyed it, and I'm planning on reading the other books. There's like 7 or 8, I think. I don't know. I'm gonna read all of them eventually, so yay! The second book I read in January was Vampire Academy by Rochelle Mead. I think that's right. I could be terribly wrong. Haha, I was right. Okay. So the author of this book is Michelle Reed. Wow. Okay. Rochelle Mead. I can't do names today. I'm sorry. This is another book that I read as a child, and I gotta say, I loved it for a variety of reasons, but the main reason is I was obsessed with this book in middle school. Like, very obsessed with this book. Like, I read it 5 times in the span of one school year. All the books. Yeah. That was me. I was a very avid fan of this book series, and I have not read the books in a while, and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna read it. And it was so good. Oh my gosh. I absolutely love the world building of this book. This is one of the first books I read that involved vampires, and yes, I did read this before Twilight, so Twilight haters, don't come at me. And I love the way they have a caste system. There's the vampires, and then there's the vampires, which is a half human, half vampire. Then they have regular old humans like me. And then they have Strigoi, I think. And the Strigoi are... I don't know how to describe them. They're evil. I don't know. They're like the stereotypical vampire, I guess. I don't know. I'm about to explain this. I'm sorry. I like that the book had this like system of, oh, you know, vampire, humans, evil vampires, half human, half vampire. It was cool. I gotta say, hands down, one of my favorite characters in this book has to be Dimitri. I don't know why. I love him so much. He just wants to keep everybody safe, and he's just a pure, perfect little boy. He's not little. He's a man. Pure, perfect man, and I will protect him with my life. He's amazing, and I love him. Yeah, enough said. And yeah, I am planning on reading all the books in this series, like I am Anne of Green Gables. That may or may not happen. We shall see. But I don't know. I really enjoyed this book. I read this in the middle of January, so it was kind of like, hey, Anne of Green Gables, 2 vampires, vastly different book genres, but I enjoyed them both just the same. So the third and final book that I read in January was a book that my book club actually recommended, or chose, voted on. Yay! And that was Crazy Rich Asians by, forgot the name of the author, Kevin Kwan. Okay. Crazy Rich Asians, wow. I cannot talk today. Crazy Rich Asians by Kevin Kwan. And I am so glad that my book club decided to pick this book because I wanted to go watch the movie, but I didn't want to watch the movie before I read the book. So, yay, my book club picked a good one. Woo! I gotta say, this book was a lot heftier than I expected. It was, like, gigantic. And oh my goodness, do they pack a lot of story in all of those pages. And this is like the first book in a trilogy, I think. So, I don't know how much more story each book can have. I hope they don't get bigger and bigger and bigger. I don't want this to become a Stephen King situation, where his books are like gigantic and they're like 600 pages. I don't want that to happen at Crazy Rich Asians because the first book was hefty. But I gotta say, I really, really loved it. I loved all the characters. The plot was, it was a rom-com and a book, and rom-coms are my jam, so I was all for it. And I am equally excited to finally watch this movie. I've heard nothing but praise about Crazy Rich Asians because it has like an all-Asian cast, I believe. I think that's what I heard. And yeah, it sounds so good, and I can't wait to, I would say read it. I can't wait to watch it and compare it to this book. I am definitely going to be reading the other 2 books in this trilogy. I'm assuming it's a trilogy. I could be wrong, though. Maybe there's more, but I think it's just 3. I think they are definitely going to become an addition on my bookshelf somewhere. I'll find some room. They'll end up somewhere on my shelf. But I'm very excited to actually buy these books and have them as a hard copy because I read this as an ebook. So, I need some pages to turn. So, I'm so excited. Okay, so, on to the February, wow, I still can't say the word February. F-E-B. I just can't say it. I can't say it. I'm not even gonna try. I'm not gonna try. I'm keeping it small again. The first book that I'm planning on reading is Anne of Avonlea, which is the sequel to Anne of Green Gables, I think. Again, there's like 7 of them. I could be mixing up the titles. But I really, really, really do want to get through this book series because it brought me so much joy as a child. And I didn't actually read all the books as a child. I don't think I read the last 2. So, I'm hoping that this is going to be the year where I actually read all the books in this book series. So, fingers crossed I can do that. And if I remember correctly, Anne of Avonlea is the one where Anne is at college and Gilbert is at medical school. I could be wrong. I'm also really hardcore going off the miniseries, and I don't know. So, um, again, if you haven't heard of Anne of Green Gables, it's a fantastic book series, and I'm excited. And yeah, if I remember correctly, Anne of Avonlea was when they were like adults, but not like adult with like kids yet. So I'm excited to read this because I think I'm right around the same age they are in this book, like right now. So I don't know. It's gonna be kind of cool to read a book like, hey, I'm the same age as Anne. I don't know. It's just I'm weird like that. So the second book I'm going to be reading is, and I'm gonna have to look it up because I am not 100% sure how to pronounce this title. Uh, Enchanté by Gita Trelease. This book is supposed to come out in February. I have no idea when, but the summary sounds super interesting. So it takes place. Wow, I cannot get the summary to pull up. There we go. Okay, so it takes place in Paris in 1789. I'm already intrigued. The main character is Camille Durbon. Durbane? I don't know. I'm sorry. I'm bad with names. And smallpox has killed her parents. So she must find a way to provide for her frail sister and her volatile brother. And this is what really, really got me. She has to rely on magic. And the second I read that line, I was like, yes, magic's involved. I'm already way more on board than I was before because I just love books that involve magic, and this sounds super interesting. So, oh my gosh. So, when her brother steals her savings that she has made doing the magic, I don't know why I'm doing this, doing the magic with like Grinch hands, she heads to the court of King Louis and Marie Antoinette. And I'm here for this book. I feel like I've read so many books with like this exact same plot, but I don't know. I'm really into this book, which I'm excited for. I haven't really been reading like new releases lately, so I am so excited to read this. And again, at least for me, this plot seems kind of similar. Oh, a girl goes to a court, has magical powers of some kind, and there's some dark plot that she discovers. I don't care, it sounds good. Maybe it's the fact that it takes place in Paris with Marie Antoinette and King Louis. I feel like there's not a lot of fictional stories involving this time period or those people. I mean, they're real people, so that's interesting. But yeah, I don't know. I'm really, really, really excited to read this book because, again, it's been so long since I've read a new release, and I'm here for it. I have no idea when this book actually comes out. Hopefully it's not at the end of February. I have had a problem where I'm going to read this book in this month, and then it comes out on like the last day. So I'm hoping that does not happen, but we shall see. So the third and final book that I'll be reading in February is also a new release, and I am just so excited to be going back on this new release bandwagon. I feel like it's been so long since I've read one, so I'm excited. The third book that I'll be reading is called Spectacle by Jody Lynn Zidrak. Hope I'm saying that right. And, okay, funnily enough, there is a trend with these two books. They both take place in Paris around pretty much the same time. This book takes place in Paris in 1887. The main character is Natalie Bauden. I can't do any name. I can't do a single name. I'm so sorry. And she writes the Daily Morgue column for La Petite Journal. Interesting. I'm intrigued. And the summary says it's basically a summarization of each day's new arrivals, a task I find incredibly creepy, but I guess they needed to know about how many people died. Did this take place during the Black Plague? No, that was before this, right? I don't know my history. I'll look it up later. But anyway, I'm already kind of intrigued, but also a little uncomfortable because that's a little weird. But it gets better. She has a vision of the newest body of a young woman being murdered from the murderer themselves. Da da da. Okay, so these two new releases both sound amazing. I am definitely a little bit more excited for this one because she has visions, and I am all for learning about how she got these visions, why she's getting the visions from the murderer, and I want to see her try and catch this guy. Again, I don't know too much about history, so I don't know if there really was a serial killer in Paris at this time period, but it would be really interesting to me, at least, if this book also took a grain of reality like the other book and kind of inserted it into this book. But I don't know. I feel like that may not happen, but I don't care. I don't care. They both sound great, and they both take place in Paris. So, living out my dreams of going to Paris one book at a time. So that is it. That is my January wrap up, February TBR. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I'm sorry if it was a little cringy at times. I'm still getting the hang of this booktube thing. It's been a while since I've done one of these. Again, life just kind of got in the way. But I am very, very excited to read the books that I've chosen for February. And I don't know, I'm just excited to get back to this YouTube thing. It's gonna take me a while, but I'm getting back in the groove, so I'm excited. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and comment down below. I have all of my social media down there if you want to give that a look. And as always, please subscribe. It really helps me out. I would love to hear from you guys about what you read in January, what you want to read in February. Please let me know. And yeah, I'm gonna go watch a movie and eat some food and enjoy my Tuesday nights. Bye, guys.